Hello. Today's poem we're discussing is Talking in Bed by Philip Larkin. Before we start, if you haven't subscribed already, please do so now. I have the poem here, so let's start. Talking in bed ought to be easiest. Lying together, there goes back so far, an emblem of two people being honest. Yet more and more time passes silently. Outside, the wind's in complete unrest, builds and disperses clouds in the sky, and dark towns heap up on the horizon. None of this cares for us, nothing shows why. At this unique distance from isolation, it becomes still more difficult to find words at once true and kind, or not untrue and not unkind. Talking in Bed is one of Larkin's best loved poems, and as we analyse it, I'm sure you'll understand why. The poem features two lovers lying in bed together and draws from this small scene deeper questions on life. The poem's speaker finds it puzzling how hard it is to talk to those most intimate with you. He says it ought to be easiest, but the closer one grows to another, the harder it becomes to be honest to them. In the second line, the pun lying in bed means more than a physical position. It means lack of honesty, literally lying in bed to the other person. The speaker reflects on this oddity and does not find an explanation. He attributes it to one more feature of the contradictions and messiness of human relationships and life. This contradiction is stressed through antithesis, lying and honest, lying as in at rest, and unrest, true, untrue, and the two rhyming words at the poem's end, kind, unkind. The complexity of human relationships is mirrored by Larkin's intricate rhyming scheme, a series of three-line stanzas, or tercets. The rhyme on the first and third lines becomes the rhyme in the middle line of the next stanza, until it breaks down to the simple triplet of find, kind, unkind. The final triplet, like the poem's speaker, is isolated by its difference. The fact that a poem about two people is written in patterns of three suggests the middle line or a third line spoiling this coupling. What should be the perfect couplet is spoiled by the third rhyming word. Possibly this suggests there is another in the relationship, preventing the couple from being honest with each other. Or perhaps the intrusive rhyming word of the triplet suggests no relationship can be perfect because some obstacle will appear and spoil it. Perhaps it is the unrest the speaker describes that builds the clouds that spoil the clear sky, or the dirty town, dark towns that spoil a beautiful panorama, horizon, like a blot on a perfect landscape. The speaker believes that intimacy and care for the other makes it hard to be truthful because speaking truth might mean hurting the other's feelings. So people often skirt around the issue, not telling lies, but not telling truths. What the speaker calls untruths, white lies, to avoid being unkind. It is difficult to separate the poem speaker from the poet, and easy to conclude that the poem is autobiographical. Throughout most of his life, Larkin shared his bed with more than one woman. The poem is a good example of Larkin's writing technique, in which he begins the poem providing a description of an everyday occurrence and uses it as a springboard for a wider reflection on the complexity of life and the human condition. Larkin often provides no neat solutions, but invites us to reflect on life's contradictions, oddities, and absurdities. This outlook is captured in the poem's conclusion. Nothing shows why. It's become still more difficult to find words at once true and kind, or not untrue and not unkind. Talking in Bed is worth comparing with One Flesh by Elizabeth Jennings. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If so, please hit the like button and ring the bell. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so now. It will help us greatly and is much appreciated. Also, check out our other videos on writing and analysing poems and other texts. Until next time, from Carol and me, write well.